Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the Total Leave It Half Football podcast. And with Dix, well, what was we expecting this news at some point during the transfer break? We were 50-50, but it's happened about over an hour ago, a couple hours ago. That's Tottenham Hotspur have sacked Igor Tudor after 44, nearly around about 44 days in the job. He only had one win in all 7 games, including all of the Champions League second leg against Atletico Madrid, despite the loss on aggregate as well. And yeah, we get to the reaction, and we'll say got my co-host beside me, Stefan. Stefan, good evening to you.
Evening, Carl.
Well, we expected this, didn't we? But
Yes.
we didn't know how soon it was going to be. We did feel like after what happened last weekend with Tottenham losing 3-0 to the relegation rivals, Nottingham Forest at home. What is really going on at the club of these decision making at this moment? Where they're in the downhill, where they're really now getting closer to relegation.
I mean, to be totally honest, Carl, I have no idea what's going on in the background of Tottenham. No idea. I mean, you know that Igor Tudor has equalled the shortest managerial reign in history, apart from our good friend Mr. Nancy up here in Scotland. He's equalled the shortest managerial reign in England of 44 days. He's now level with Brian Clough, if you remember. And I hate to bring this up because it involves your team. But
Well, it's not the equal record. It's not the equal I would say, but it's one of the top 5 or 10 now in that list because you got these people broken that record. I can tell you there was a Leeds manager broke that record a while back, and it's not Brian Clough anymore.
well, that's the one I remember anyway. Especially when it said 44 days, I was like, bloody hell. 44 days, I mean, do I feel sorry for Igor Tudor? In some ways, yes, because let's be honest, Cal, he's coming to a rotten job. He's taken over a rotten job left by, of course, his predecessor. And he came in, he also had the unfortunate passing of his father, and we don't wish that on anyone.
No.
And I just feel that the way that Spurs have done this, even though we say it's by mutual consent, is it really though? Is it? That's the question I would pose.
Yeah.
Is it by mutual consent? Because I'm not so sure, to be honest.
No, no, absolutely no. He's now fourth of the shortest managerial tenures in Premier League history. Sam Allardyce is the one at 30 days from May 2003. Ange Postecoglou 39 days. Les Reed, who's at Charlton 40 days. Tudor at Tottenham, was 44. 69 days. Which it was Javi Garcia, who's at Leeds from February to May 2023. So he's the fourth shortest managerial tenure in Premier League history.
It's just absolutely baffling. I mean, where do Spurs go now? Because there's 7 or 8 games left of the season. Basically, every game for them now is a cup final. I don't think we're going to win every game, unfortunately. And that was proven last weekend when they played Nottingham Forest at home, sorry. And they lost 3-0. So I really fear for Spurs now. And whoever they bring into that hot seat, good luck to them because they're going to bloody need that.
Yeah, I know. I've got the club statement here as well. We can confirm that this has been mutually agreed for the head coach Igor Tudor to leave the club with immediate effect. Thomas Lathrodrick and Ricardo Raganzinski have also left the respectives of goalkeeping and coach and physical coach. We thank Igor, Thomas and Ricardo for their efforts during the past 6 weeks in which they've worked tirelessly. We also acknowledge the bereavement of Igor that Summified will send us support to him from his difficult time. An update on the new head coach will be provided in due course.
See, there's just something fishy about that. something doesn't smell right at all.
Mm.
Something's rotten in the state of London, put it that way. 'Cause I'm not surprised that the guy got sacked, because at the end of the day, football is a results business, as we know. I'm not surprised at that, but I'm surprised at the timing of the sacking, mainly because he's just lost his ruddy father.
Yeah, yeah.
If he was still employed by the club, he's still supposed to be on bereavement or compassionate leave, I think.
Yeah, even more bereavement leave. Yeah. So I don't know how that's gonna work out now. If when you use some bereavement leave, so it's a bit weird with that one. How the ball is just deciding to just
I mean, put it this way: if Roy Hodgson hadn't accepted the offer from Steve Lansdowne in the sort of hierarchy, but apparently now of Premier League standards and ambitions at Bristol City, would he have gone to Tottenham? Who knows?
no. I tell you why. Of what
Knows?
happened with Liverpool. I don't think he can manage a big club. He struggles with that, and that was something that he just struggles with.
I mean, you know what? This move would not surprise me, right? We've seen Roy Hodgson come back to Bristol City with Ray Winton, I think, as his assistant. It should be,
Yeah.
because he's always been.
Just remember what English fans had to go through, mate. Don't try. That's why I would not. That name is out of my mind after what happened.
Fair enough, I suppose, right? We've seen Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney come back to Celtic.
Yeah.
Now, Martin O'Neill is 74, okay? Now, what I'm about to say would not surprise me. Harry Redknapp and Robbie Keane.
Harry Redknapp is 79, and Robbie Keane, he's just on the contract extension at Fenerbahce, but I don't know how long that contract is, and we know Keane is more favourite at Spurs. But I want to give Tudor's range in numbers, Stefan, because you're not going to believe this. What I'm going to read: 0 wins in his 5 Premier League. Only point from it was Liverpool. 44 days as well. 1 point gap between Spurs and the relegation zone. There were 5 points clear at the time of Tudor's appointment in 16th place, but leaves the gap to now 17th place. 20 was the number of goals Spurs conceded across Tudor's 7 games, which is in all competitions an average of 2.8 per game. 70 was the number of minutes when he substituted Anton Krinsky during the disastrous first leg in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid, where he was at fault for 2 goals. And 27 is now up to his current percentage chance of Spurs being relegated. It's up from 4% before Tudor's first game in charge.
That's getting higher all the time. And you know my feelings on that blinking supercomputer. Evening, Chris. Evening, Michael. By the way, sorry, we missed you.
Yeah, he's misspelled your name, but we can forgive him. It's
Michael, cheers for the typo.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Yeah, for me, Spurs had a decision. They had 10 days now. 10 days before the game in the Premier League against Sunderland, which is live on Sky Sports on April the 12th. They had to make a decision, didn't they?
Just to clarify, that's away to Sunderland, right?
Yeah.
Oh dear. I think, put it this way, I think tonight Mr. Michael Bowers will be rubbing his hands with glee at this, being a Sunderland fan. Because I think now it's got slightly easier for Sunderland against Tottenham.
Well, I think it would have been easier with Tudor still being there. No, actually, to quite honest, and after speaking to Michael on the 20 we did the 20 podcast, before he felt more confident that they can beat Spurs the way and that was something that I think they realized, because no matter what the manager was there, I think they had more confidence. But in the end, I've just seen what former Spurs captain Gary Mabbutt has just said. He wants to partner. This is what he's just said at the moment as well. Due diligence is taking place as soon as people come out. the right person needs to be they need the right person that feel that is going to take the club forward in the next 7 games, because the 7 games is the most important games in Spurs club history, the
Yes.
club's recent history. So hopefully they will get right. We need to get the possibility and climb the Premier table. We don't expect Tudor's place to be the most tactical manager in the world, and feels more boosted and simplicity of game planning, which is the bigger priorities for it. He said someone who can come in and put their arm around the soldiers for them to go out on the field of play with a smile on their faces. They play the game. They play the game. They love with confidence, but also 100% that the effort, desire, determination, and passion.
But the question is, who's it going to be to try and save? And I emphasize on the word try to save Tottenham's season. And
Well, before we get to that, I don't know. It's not Michael.
I wouldn't say it's bad
No,
news.
I wouldn't, because Spurs have sacked 3 managers this season. How do you think if they bloody hell, are they trying to beat Nottingham Forest's record now, because Nottingham Forest has got that record of sacking multiple managers in one season?
And Watford as well, by the way.
That's a good point as well. Yeah, that's a fair point.
But no, I wouldn't say that's bad news. I would actually say it's still the same as it was prior to the international break. For
Exactly. There's no leadership. There's no leadership in that squad. Who's going to grab them by the throat and talk to Mace and say,
Well, you're right, Carl. There's absolutely no leadership from the director of football down to the players that go into that pitch. There is no togetherness at Tottenham at the moment, and it's sad to see because it's one of the big clubs in the Premier League.
Well, I don't know about that anymore. I don't know about that anymore. No, I just don't see them as that big. They're not that, if they're such a big club, why they're not? Why have they only won 2 trophies in the space of what? Since the Premier League was there, why did they only won probably 2 or 3 trophies since that 30+ year period?
No, I get that, but you know what I mean. Big in stature, they're a well-known name within English football, or they were.
Even Anson are not a big club.
80s, 90s.
Even Anson were not a big club. So that just shows you something's not right at that club for such a long time.
Because they've had such a fall from grace. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, listen. Let's look at the names we can consider that will be in the running.
We've got 2 in the comments here.
Yeah, 2 in the comments. Let's go through one by one, because
we've got 3.
Right, first one, and he's been linked with the club. He's been linked, and even though he's laughed it off the other day, we heard, is Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche is available at the moment after he was sacked by Nottingham Forest a couple of weeks ago as well. And the thing is, Stefan, someone told him when he was in the pub when he was drinking his Guinness, he laughed it off completely. With someone like him, it's a big club for him to manage in a way, because this is bigger than the Everton job that he had.
No. Reason being is, you need to give Sean Dyche time. Okay? 7 games is not enough time for Dyche to work his magic. He was at Burnley for 10 years before he got sacked. And if you remember rightly as well, Cal, he actually went back to Burnley on an interim basis to get them through to their next appointment after he got sacked. I think it was like a season in between his sack, and then he went back to...
No, actually, no, not really. No, actually, he's been through Burnley. He was being pretty much from Burnley from 2012 to 2022, and pretty much he was out of the job for that period until January 2023 when he went to Everton.
Oh, okay, so he didn't go back.
No, never went back. No,
but things didn't really come to fruition under Farhad Mercedes' tenure at Everton either. He had his style of play that he wanted to implement. He had his ideas, It worked for a while, but then it petered out. Then, of course, we had the ill-fated period at Nottingham Forest. The least said about that, the better for Sean, I think, because I actually like Dyche as a manager, but I think giving him 7 games, a very depleted squad, because let's not forget we've got injuries coming up with here as well. I just don't think he'd be able to work his magic.
No.
And I don't think he would take that job knowing that there's a huge risk of relegation on the table.
Yeah, I know, absolutely as well. Right, the next name, we'll go one of the 2 former Spurs managers. One of them did play for the club, Tim Sherwood.
Well, he actually publicly stated on the Sky Sports FC programme in the morning last week that if he was offered the job, he could keep him up. He said that live on air. Now, I don't know if that was just to sort of blow a bit smoke in his own direction and big himself up again because he's not had a management job in such a long time. Is it a risk? It's a risk, but, and this is the crucial thing, it's somebody that knows the club inside out, a bit like Michael Carrick taking over interim charge at Manchester United when Amram got sacked. Admittedly, Carrick's had a lot longer in charge than whoever's going to get this Spurs job, whether it be to the end of the season or beyond. But it does need to be someone that knows the club inside out. And the third name we've got on this list from Miguel was Mr. Cheltenham. Now, could Mr. Cheltenham come back?
Yeah, next one is Harry Redknapp as well. That's another name that.
Could, but I would say it would have to be a similar situation as to what's happening at Celtic up here in Scotland. When Martin O'Neill fronts the media, does all the interviews, but in the training, it's somebody younger.
Sean Maloney, yeah.
Like Tim Sherwood or Robbie Keane or maybe even Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale's not the managerial type. He was on the overlap earlier this week. I don't think he's the managerial type. He kind of, I think he's not a. I think for what I remember, football is just was his job. He's just wants to be pretty much away from he's probably trying to get away from football. He wants to be more in the ownership side of things. I can't see him in the management, and the other man is what Michael Brown has put up, and I can't
see that happening.
No, and I think there's a problem with that now with Roberto De Zerbi, and I'll tell you why. And this is something I think you need to understand. There's been some anti-Roberto De Zerbi from Spurs fans who are not, especially with his backing when he backed and actually approved of signing Mason Greenwood for Marseille, for Man United. And I pretty much, I don't think they're not really happy. That's why a lot of Spurs fans are not going to be happy because of the association where he actually didn't think about, despite he claimed that he proved innocent, despite we heard it all just in the video. We saw it. And I think De Zerbi is a bit of a steamer that I don't think that's going to work with Spurs. It goes back to what Antonio Conte was, and that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, it is. I don't think De Zerbi's going to get the job. I think it's actually going to be a total left field appointment. We're throwing all these names around, and it'll be someone that will go, "Oh, we didn't see that coming." Then we'll have to come on again and talk about them when they get in post.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they want to go back to Ange. That's dead in the water. you know, listen, I don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. But the thing is, who did it go for? Because Oliver Glasner is going to be out of a contract at Crystal Palace at the end of the season. Does he go from South to North London? That's another question that I think or does he go back to Germany? Because, and I think it's so many names we could consider, but at this moment in time, I don't, for long term purposes, why would Pochettino would come back to Spurs if they're in the Championship next season?
I could not see that happening. I know he's with the USA just now.
I think he's under pressure because if the US don't do well, he's out of a job, and there were even talks about him coming back at this, months ago. There were talks about this ever since Thomas Frank got the sack weeks ago. There were talks about happening because he's contracted till the end of the World Cup, and I don't see the US national team will be going. Michael makes a good point. He will believe he's not been confirmed, but it's one of the names you could consider. I think if Fulham gets into Europe, he stays. He stays on the size of the contract extension.
Yeah,
because
I reckon that's going to happen in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think he's a lot more. I think despite their slow start and the transfer window they didn't have in it last summer,
they've done well.
They've done well in January. They've done well in January to get the players that they needed, and they've been firing up the table. I don't see Michael Silva leaving Fulham. I really don't at this moment.
No, I mean that's the thing. Who is going to take this job? I don't know. And I'm looking at Sky Sports News for clues, guys, but we're not giving any.
No, I mean, Stefan, we're not going to get any clues. I don't think we need. I don't think we can. I don't think we can at this moment. And I know Ramon Vega's just told Sky Sports News that the Spurs hard needs to take some accountability. Well, they need to take all the accountability for this.
Oh yeah. And bear in mind as well, guys, it's not just a new manager we're needing now. It's a new goalkeeping coach and a new physical fitness coach.
I think they need a new everything, Stefan. It's not just that. It's the whole. The club needs to be sorted out from top to bottom. It starts at the top, and then that's been the issue. It starts at the top.
Yep, starts at the top with the hierarchy and filters all the way down. Yeah, as we've said, you might have one of the nicest, new, best stadiums in the world, but if you don't have the squad to play in it, you're knackered, I'm afraid. And I think
that's been the problem. What Ange said on the overlap weeks ago, when he said about not just with the transfer strategy policy as well as the wage structure, they were not acting like they even had a club. It's the same like that. It's a big club, but it was still acting like a small club of the wage structure, and that's the problem.
Here's one for you guys. Has Tottenham ever been relegated in Premier League history since the Premier League started in season 92-93?
That's easy. It's no.
Well, you say it's no.
No, in the modern Premier League that was started in 92-93, they're not being relegated. But in the past, when they were before the old first division, yes, they have.
Yeah, I get that. But
that's what I'm trying to tell you. And I know where you will go with this one, but not in the modern Premier League they have it, along with Everton, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Arsenal.
Well, you see, not in the modern Premier League era as of yet. Bear in mind, what are we? Today we are the 29th of March 2026.
Yeah.
The season finishes in what? 7 weeks. So if they don't pick wins up in that 7 weeks, they will be relegated.
Yeah, exactly.
Bye-bye Tottenham. Hello, whoever finishes third. And whoever wins the playoffs to get the third spot in the Premier League.
I can tell you it ain't going to be Wrexham.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. See, I put you on the spot with that one because I knew you would have thought about that, and I thought, nope, you're not going there with that one.
Well, if West Ham avoid relegation,
Listen, okay. Last time Spurs got relegated, I'm just gonna go and find it here
was
just
it
to make
was
sure.
it not the 70s or 80s or something?
It kind not really. It wasn't actually. It's well before that. It's well before that actually. I'm gonna make sure I get this one right because I know we've got to look, and I'm looking at the information now with that one. So that it was in the 70s, it was 1977, 78. They went down to Division 2. 1977 they got relegated. They were playing in Division 2 in 1977, 78 season.
Wow.
That's how long the last time they were when it was the all first division.
Wow. Now, probably at this moment in time as well, what we've got to realise is every championship club is going to be rubbing their hands with glee because basically whoever's in the championship next season, it looks like for all intents and purposes, every team that goes to Tottenham or every team that Tottenham goes to, it's going to be a cup final for that team.
Yeah, and that season when Spurs got relegated, Chelsea got one promotion back to the first division.
Yeah.
And do you know what the weird thing is, Stefan? I'm looking at the table. Spurs could have still survived on the last day of the season. They could have done if Bristol City and Coventry or even West Ham lost their games.
And they didn't. They all won.
There was a 3-point gap between 17th and 22nd place.
Ouch.
And this was the old 2-point system, not the. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that in the 70s and 80s because obviously you see it on like ITV4 and stuff now on the Saturday
and stuff. Yeah, yeah. So this was still the 2 points that, and that was the same season that colored red and yellow cards was introduced that season when Spurs got relegated.
But by the way, guys, I just want to reiterate, I wasn't born the last time Spurs got relegated. Were you, Carl?
No, I was born 1992, man. Come on.
See, even you weren't born, so this is new for all of us, guys.
Well, this is why I got the information. Yeah, it was still 2 points till 1981, till they changed, till we went to 3 points.
So you're telling me that before 1981 and before 78, 79, when a foul was given, for example, there was no punishment because we had no cards.
We had no cards. Yeah.
What gives?
Hey, we had no cards at the time. So until that point it happened, yeah.
I always wondered why. Sorry, we were able to get away with Don Levy.
The reason why we call dirty leads, right? So just get that one out of the way. And actually, despite yes, what Brian Clough said, we weren't probably one of the best teams alongside Barcelona that played a good style of football at the time. Despite we did have bite your legs, Norman Hunter going in tackles. So let's get that one out of the way. So
I think, Carl, we should put in the comments underneath this video, we should put, who do you think will be the next Tottenham manager? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
I think I want to do a poll on our channel.
Ooh.
On our channel. That's something I would like to do because I think I'm gonna give everyone the other section and they can put the comments in, but it's the question mark, and it's the questionable one because I as I said, look, I just don't know what Spurs can do at this moment in time in this situation. Again, when I look at that record, they could have stayed up and beaten. They could have got above, Bristol City and Coventry City that season they went down, and I don't know how they did not do that. They had 2 points gap. They had it, but
Yeah.
it's like what happened when you guys went down in the early 70s, and when everyone thought Dennis Law was one that relegated him. No, it was bloody Birmingham City beating Norwich City that relegated you when you had when Dennis Law scored against you. So that's what I think this a lot of the Spurs fans who don't want something to happen like that as well. But yeah, it's I don't know. I think Spurs are in so much shit creek now. It's just it's in they have to make the right what choices for them. It's not going to be right with the fans, especially when we saw the game before Forest when the 20,000 plus fans cheered Spurs on before. So, and especially like what Michael said, the injuries are mounting up because Vicario is now out for a month with his hernia surgery.
Exactly. And the other thing we've got to consider as well is Spurs say they'll announce an update on the new head coach, by the way, not manager, head coach in due course. Now, how long is due course? Because we've only got 7 games left of the rugby season.
I think it will be done before in a matter of 24 to 48 hours maximum, Stefan, maximum, because they need someone. I think the players report back from the international duty around Wednesday, Thursday at least.
I mean, I don't know of anybody in that club that could even do 1 or 2 games in charge.
That's the problem. At the moment, Bruno, the former Chelsea, but also former Brighton player, he's not in charge of the training until the next head coach coming in due course. So he's going to be leading the training sessions until probably when that next head coach comes in.
Wait a minute. Sorry, Cal. Big Baldy is going to be leading the training.
Yes. At this moment in time, that's what they said.
God.
That is what they said in that statement. So yeah,
I'm trying not to laugh here. I'm flabbergasted at that.
What other choice did they have? I think Bruno Sala is more the club, in the club position, not being appointed by Igor Tudor. He's more part of the club.
Oh yeah. I get he's part of the club and wasn't. Didn't come in with Igor Tudor, but even that's scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Well, I don't think they had any choice. They could have either give it to the 21s, but they needed someone who's and listen, Bruno is going to be the one that is going to be until then is the one's going to be leading the training until then. So
I tell you what, Carl, I would like to see Spurs finances by the end of this season.
I think we'll not know their financial stuff for this season, not probably till later by the end of this year, at least. I think
because that's going to be very interesting.
It will be, and that's something that we will know what Joe Lewis and his family when they release that as well. So,
correct me if I'm wrong, and I could be totally wrong here, but are they not still paying for their stadium?
They are still paying back for the loans of the stadium, but because of how affordable the percentage rates are, they're not in serious financial situation because they have a long term debt. So that means that can be paid back in small installments until from 20 plus years, whatever. So because of the money that they do get in, it's so much easier that they can pay it back.
My other word is as well that for the last 7 games of the season, the fans aren't just going to turn up; they're going to boycott the games.
Well, listen, it's not only that. I bet the sponsors will be their sponsors will be sweating if they get relegated to the championship. That they will cut half the value. Sponsorship have relegation clauses. If they don't meet the same criteria, if they don't get back into you and they don't meet certain criteria or they get relegated, they can just cut back on the deal completely, which means that
if Spurs get relegated, and let's be honest, there's a very, very, very high possibility. I would say about 70% now possibility with all the stuff that's going on today in the background. If Spurs get relegated, they lose at least, at least half of their current sponsorship deals for strips, their academies, their
I don't think their academies is not the issue because their academies is probably different. They'll still have that category one status if they get relegated to the championship, which is the highest one. So
yeah, no, but I mean like companies advertise in and around.
it's all pretty much the same part of the one cloth thing. So there won't be different sponsors. Maybe there is, but yeah, I'm just gonna look at Spurs' how many sponsors they have because I think it's quite in.
We have a lot of sponsors. We have like Nike, New Balance.
They have not no, so they have Nike, AIA, BetMGM, Sports Illustrated, HSBC, Coca-Cola, Monster Energy, Cadbury's, Castro, BP Pulse, Stanley, ExpressVPN, Alipay, Yeti, Science and Sport. Yeah, they have big sponsors that is part of the all at one club process.
Yeah. Well, definitely Coca-Cola would cut ties.
Yeah.
Definitely Nike. Definitely Sports Illustrated. But I can see why they might stay on because it's a multi-purpose venue. It's not just for football.
Exactly, because the stadium is a multi-purpose for NFL, so that's why they have that deal. So yeah,
so Sports Illustrated might stay on, but the likes of Cadbury's, Coca-Cola,
HSBC,
all your other sporting ones, HSBC, ExpressVPN, they all go and find other ventures to take part in with football because don't forget, Coca-Cola, Trouble ExpressVPN, Nike, we all have deals for the World Cup coming up in the summer anyway. They're fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like Coca-Cola's fine. Yeah, Coca-Cola's definitely fine. Even Castro, I think Castro's part of the sponsors, World Cup sponsors. They're gonna be fine.
It will be because Castro is an American sort of oil.
Yeah, exactly. The only company I could see, and this is a big one. They've got some gambling sites like BetMGM. Kraken is a cryptocurrency as well. AIA is the company in Singapore. So yeah, they got so much they could lose a lot with this one, and yeah.
And don't forget they always have for squad as well because they all have clauses.
Yeah, exactly. They all have the squad got release clauses, and there will be a huge reduction of the operating costs next season if they get relegated in the championship.
And I know what everybody's going to say. Oh, there'll be a year one parachute team. Blah blah blah. We should romp the league. And normally, I would agree if it was like a West Ham or even a Wolves or a Nottingham Forest going down. I would agree because of the year one parachutes. Yes, but the thing is, it's Tottenham Hotspur. 99% of the current squad isn't going to want to drop down a tier in football when we could easily look for other clubs, get European football. It's just, it beggars beyond belief. I mean, Cristiano Romero's already been reprimanded for the club over his statement about the transfer window, how he said it was disrespectful to the fans and shocking to the club, but they didn't really bring anybody of sort of not a high pedigree, but you know what I mean, of like Tottenham-esque sort of values into the club.
Yeah. What is the values of Tottenham? That's the problem. You can't even pinpoint what is the values of the club like Tottenham.
There's none.
Exactly.
There's no values, but you would still expect Tottenham to make moves in a transfer window. I mean, as far as I know, we're not under any financial restrictions, or certainly we weren't in January. We could easily made moves for targets that we had, but
Not getting bloody
we
James
chose not
Wilson.
to.
Not getting bloody James Wilson. Why get James Wilson in from Hearts on a loan deal? That just that.
Now, bear in mind, this loan deal, guys, isn't for the full Tottenham squad. It is to join up with our under 21 squad. So James Wilson is going to be playing in the likes of the National League Invitational Trophy, the what is it, the one that's split into North and South. You know the one I mean, Carl.
Yeah, I know, but
With the under 21 squads get invited to play and all that jazz.
I know that, but I know that, but in a way, what I'm trying to say. That's the problem with Spurs is how Spurs do their business. James Wilson only played like 5 games in the Premier League 2. He's only had 5 games since he joined in January, and he's only had at least 393 minutes.
Now, do you think, however, and we'll keep saying this until the very last day, do you think, however, if Tottenham do get relegated to the Championship, James Wilson will stay and play for the full squad?
He's not going to stay. I don't think he can cope with the pressure on the fans. He's at his age. He's only 18. I think it'd be too much pressure for him, and I think that's the problem that Spurs that he's going to have issues. I just don't see it because it's not right for his development.
That's all right.
He's 19. He's 19 now. Sorry, I think that'll be too much for him because there's the Spurs fans of the demands of the club. I just don't see it happening. I can't see him signing a permanent deal. Hey, we're good for us, but we could sell him for more better to bloody Italy because how much money,
Or at the end of his loan spell, he returns to you guys and wants the SPL again.
Well, that's the problem. Who do you change? So that's another story we'll talk about another time once we get to that latter stage completely.
I thought we'd be speaking about that in June, July time, yeah.
Yeah, we'll speak more about that later when we do discuss where we get to that point, but yeah, we'll see anyway. Stefan, listen, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining me as usual.
No worries.
We always do with this, and thank you for everyone for watching it. Thank you for everyone who messaged in as well. So we are going to finish on the hype. We have the Saturday show on next Saturday at 11:30. We're back because it's the FA Cup weekend as well as with the Scottish Premiership as well. And also, we will discuss. We'll be back with the Championship review next weekend because it's the Easter weekend.
Yes.
So we'll look and decide what we're going to do because there's double games on this week on that weekend coming up as well. So we will discuss that how we're going to do that. So yeah, so we're waiting to see with that one. But like I said, please. Everyone, if you're watching, you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button as well, please. And like you said, share it as well too. But thank you for everyone for watching in. We appreciate that.
Keep an eye for the poll, which will be on their channel, isn't it?
We'll have the poll on quite shortly, hopefully soon as possible, because even though I've just got home from work about over an hour ago, I'll do that later on tonight, and I will make sure because I'm going to get some tweet and try and get myself fed as well. But thank you everyone for watching. Like I said, we'll see you guys real soon. But if you heard from me, not miss it early news today that Igor Tudor has got sacked by Tottenham Hotspur after 44 days in charge and only 1 win in 7 games in all competition. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Take it for now. Bye-bye.
Bye.